Hello everyone, welcome to Wisdom Blog in the series of Terraform training sessions. In this session, we'll be looking at Terraform variables and outputs. So we'll be discussing about types of variables and we'll be discussing about the output. So talking about the variables, we have a couple of types like local variables in Terraform, input variables in Terraform, and default values and Terraform variables. So and also Terraform output variables. So we'll discuss one by one. So what is the local variables in Terraform, which is the one which we created in our previous video is a local variables. So in Terraform, local variables are used to define attribute values within the Terraform code. They are especially useful when a value needs to be referred uh, in multiple places in the code. So local variables can also be used to calculate values based on their on other values. So example, like if you see here, we have mentioned a local Terraform locals as for AMI. So we have mentioned the given the image ID here, AMI ID, and also we have mentioned type is equal to type to micro for resource. So this will be after declaring local variables, like they can be referred to anywhere within the module using the syntax local. If you give local Terraform locals, it will take default. This help in keeping the code clean and more maintainable. So the other one is input variables in Terraform. Also input variables in Terraform allows the dynamic assignment of values during runtime. So local variables are limited to their scope, whereas input variables can accept values during runtime, and input variables are especially useful when values need to be provided at runtime or when defining input values for the modules. So example is like if you see here, this is the syntax for to create the input variables. We have mentioned like Terraform variable. So name, here we need to give the name of the variable like AMI, and type is string. So we have couple of types for strings like we discussed before. So string type, list type, like we have tons. So and we have to give the description here, and same thing for instance type. Type is string and description. So this is the example. So to use input variables in the Terraform code, we use the syntax of var dot. So we'll do it in our practical session. So Terraform prompts for input values during the apply process unless we declare default values. So if you instead of if you mention default is equal to, for example, if you are giving a region, if you mention as default is equal to east US2, then it will take default as whatever you mentioned. So so we'll be discussing about the default values and Terraform variables. So default values can be assigned to variables in Terraform to avoid supplying values one by one during apply. So during value default values can be declared in the variables declaration itself. Example, just here if you see here, we discussed before, like default is equal to, we have mentioned AMI ID here, and here instance type we mentioned default t2.micro, and here we mentioned it as a my EC2 instance. So what happens is by default they will take the values what we declared here, default values. Instead of when you run the when you apply Terraform apply, so it will ask for to give the input for AMI ID and instance type and all stuff. Instead of that, if you provide default values, then it will take automatically. So this is Terraform output variables. So output variables in Terraform allow for retrieving specific details about the resources created during the apply process. These details can be useful for further processing or to display critical information in the same CLI terminal. So output variables are defined in the same variable.tf file, or even you can create output.tf file separately. When input values are declared, they can be used to retrieve important information like public IP details or instance ID or anything what you want, so we can mention it. Example syntax is like this is the syntax which we'll be using. And let's go to our lab and we create variables and see how it goes. Okay, so okay, we are here. So previous lab, if you remember, we have created one main file which in which we declared a provider here itself, and also we have mentioned region, access key, secret key, everything here. So in this session what we'll do is we will create one provider file, one main file, and we'll keep the resource information and volume information in the main file, and we'll create a variable.tf file, and also we'll create output.tf file. So that like variables are created separately. So let's do it. So let me we'll do one thing. So let me minimize this. So here let me open. Okay, we already so we already created a lab2 folder which is empty. So we already opened it here. So what we'll do is we'll create four files here. One is main code, that is main.tf. One more is provider, main.tf. One is provider.tf. One is variable.tf, for which we will create will declare variables, and one is output.tf. So we are getting total four files. So main in main let's do first providers. So we'll copy the provider information here. Okay, we'll do one thing. So first we'll create the variable so that we'll understand what all required. So let's go here, we go to variables, and so we'll declare the variables for access keys, secret key, and region, and my availability zone. So variable, we have to mention our access key name, then type is equal to string, then description. So we will mention as access key of AWS account. So I will copy, I don't want to waste time. Oops. This is secret key. Okay, and let's copy the same. Let's copy, we need another two variables. So and this is my region, and we, as discussed, we can also give the default value so that it won't ask the value. So us.west-2, So if you don't give the default value, obviously it will ask you to enter the to enter the value there. So here so my availability zone, and that is string, that is also string, and this is enter. And this for this also I'm giving default value. Yes, west dash 2a. So we have given 4 variables now, so we'll go to providers, and providers, what we'll do is we'll give the provider name here. Provider is obviously AWS. So now we need to mention the region. So we already given the we already created a variable. So to the syntax is to declare the variable is dollar open brace var dot, okay, is equal to braces, okay, dollar open braces var dot. So whenever you type var and put a dot, obviously whatever you have mentioned, whatever you declared in the variables, that will be listed here. So we need a region here. Okay, so we'll select the region, my region, that is what we mentioned declared here. And we need to declare all values between these braces for the provider. If you give outside the provider, what happens is it will throw an error. Make sure you follow that. Access key is equal to same syntax, dollar open braces var dot access key, and secret key is equal to dollar var dot secret key. So we have given this, we are good now. So now we need to go to main file now. So main file, what we'll do is we'll copy these resources till all this information. We don't want to type everything, so this is a plan. Like we want to create one security group with ingress and egress rules, and one volume. So we already mentioned the availability zone. So let's create the syntax. Let's declare the variable for this also. So here availability zone underscore zone is equal to same thing. Instead of hard coding this one, we'll do dollar braces, so var dot, and obviously it will list here. So we'll click this one, and we are good here. So one more last thing is to give the outputs. So outputs, like the syntax is like output, you need to give the volume and like whatever the output you want. So volume ID, which is what I'm looking for. Then then we need to give the value is equal to same type of syntax will follow, dollar open braces, so AWS underscore EBS underscore volume dot, my volume is the name of the like whatever we declare there, dot ID. This is what we declared here in the main file. So EBS the API name EBS underscore this is what we mentioned it here. So we'll be using the same dot my volume. So my volume is the name of the resource which we declared it here, and ID is the ID, whatever the ID is created, then that should be pop up when we run our when we apply the in the when we apply Terraform apply in the CLI. So next comes we are looking for security ID. So output we need to give the name of the security ID, security group ID. Here we need to give the value is equal to again dollar open braces. So what is that we mentioned here? So that so we have mentioned AWS, same thing we have to mention there, and also sec group is the ID, like group name. So we will mention that dot what is that sec group is the group name dot ID. So we have now we need like output of volume ID as well as security group ID. Let's save this one, save all. So Control S will save everything. Okay, now our code is ready. Terraform, we need to go to, we can do it from terminal, and if you want just open new terminal, and then now if we go to the folder lab2 folder, we have only 4 files, so we still not initiated our Terraform. So let's do it. Terraform init. So it's just initiating Terraform API, all stuff in the backend, and it is successful. So now we'll validate it. So it's validated and looks everything is correct. Now we can, what we can do is we can run a Terraform test plan, or directly we can apply it. So we'll run it Terraform apply, and we'll do this time auto apply, so auto approve. So we want to see the command, we want to see the syntax of auto apply. You can do, what you can do is dash dash help, so that it help, so it will give all the available commands. So you can see here dash auto dash approve is the auto approval, which will skip and it will apply it directly instead of asking questions on all stuff. Let's do it. So Terraform apply auto approve. Let's see how it goes. So now you see here it is asking for our access key. Now we need to enter the access key which we provided here. So if you don't want to hard code it, so you can enter it here. Now it is asking for a secret key, which is also we don't want to hard code it, so that is the reason we removed it. So we just created a variables for that reason. So and now we have provided the requested keys, and now we can see here that it is creating the security group, AWS VPC security group, and volume also. So you can see here security groups are created successfully, and also you can see the security group ID as output. So what is the ID? It is there, and volume ID. So if you go here and if you refresh it, so you can see here volume ID is 2769 last 4 digits. So this is the whole volume ID. And also if you go to security groups, our group, you don't know if you didn't mention the security group, and if you want to see the ID here, it's 14 F4 is the is ID 14 F4. This is the one which it is successfully created with inbound rules as well as outbound rules, and our lab is successful. Let's destroy it. So ours is a like test environment. We want to destroy it. So command is terraform destroy. So it will ask again the access key and security key, just for safety purpose. So we'll copy it from our previous terraform file. So it start deleting them, and it will ask yes we want to do, if you can do an auto approve also, but you didn't done it. So now it is destroying the security group as well as the volume which we created. So we have successfully destroyed our resources now. So if you refresh, it is gone. It's already gone. Yep, it's gone. So yeah, this is about the variables. In our next lab, we'll do in depth more on variables and also modules. We'll work on it. So yeah, for this, uh, for now we are done with our lab, and thanks for watching, and please do subscribe, and as always, for any queries you always reach out to me on vstudentblog at gmail.com. Thank you. Bye bye.